Hey, what's up, Hope Shot family? Welcome back to our episodes of Addiction to Success. Tonight we have Kayla M is going to share her story of recovery and tell us her story. But first, let me read the Hope Shot clarity statement. So we here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being a part of our family. Hey guys, if you're just jumping on, go ahead and say what's up. Let us know you're here. This is going to be an awesome story, man. I'm excited. Kayla is coming up on 10 years this March. And I figured we can kick it off, because they're gonna be doing this neat event for her, which I think is super cool because it's always awesome to have people support you in your recovery journey and showing their love for you, and that's what we need, to be. We don't need that many data boys, but we need some data boys. We need people to be like, "Yo, good job, man," because it takes a lot of guts and it takes hard work to get from where we were. And I've heard Kayla's story before. She was on here in our first episodes when we were here on YouTube, and we were just talking about this. It was super awkward for me only, I guess. She says it wasn't awkward for her, but it was just like we were recording and then I'd edit it and my life was unmanageable doing it, and like it was cool.
You're about to spiral.
Yeah. But we have evolved, man, and that's what it takes. Just like recovery, man, we evolve, we get better at what we do. And I'm super excited to hear Kayla's story on this side of things with a live event, which is super cool. We got Allie on. What's up, Allie? Jamie, what's up, Jamie? Christina, we got Chrissy, Scott, and Maria. What's up, Maria? Hi. And guys, if you wouldn't mind real quick, please share this live video, get it out to people. You never know who might hear a message of hope tonight from hearing Kayla's story. And that's what it's all about, is spreading inspiration and hope, and sharing this video just might do that for somebody tonight. And we want to get that out there. So please hit that share button. It only takes 2 seconds. Or if you guys have groups that you are a part of, some addiction recovery groups, man, share it out to there too, as well as your personal page. We really appreciate the support. So I will tell a little bit about Kayla, how we met.
I'll sit back and wait.
So Kayla and me met through the grapevine of business. In 2020, when the pandemic hit, we were introduced to this group called the Hub. I don't know when you were formally brought into the Hub, but I think it was not far after it started, right?
Yeah, it was shortly after everybody started doing meetings back in person again. Because I think that was probably right around the time that I was like in real estate for a couple months. And then I knew Lindsay Weber, and I reached out to her because I knew she was in mortgage. So I was like, hey, like, I'm here. And then she brought me in. So yeah, not too long after.
Yeah, so we started this group, and this is how a lot of this stuff started. The Hope Shot started because of this group, being a part of it, and how when you start something good and people don't like it, how the negative can come with it. Anything you do that's positive, negative comes with it. That's just how it is. So me and Kayla, we got close, and then one day, I think I was telling you about doing this, and we went to the IV place.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, I've been da 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 da. I was arrested and was on opiates." And I'm like, "What, Kayla? Like you?"
I think you almost fainted when I told you that.
I literally did. I think you handed me a bottle of water and like sat me down. Yeah. I was like, "What?" Yeah. And it's funny, man. Like when we're out here in this, in this world, and we're like, you never know who is in recovery and who is not, or who was on drugs and who wasn't, because we look like totally different people. Mm-hmm. And so she shared that with me, and I was just blown away. And I was like, "Yo, you're coming on with me. We're gonna talk."
I was like, "Okay, I'll do it."
And so she was a part of the first evers, and it was really cool. So I wanted her to come on here since we're coming up on a decade, which is
Yeah.
super cool.
Like, how
That's
crazy is that? I never even could have imagined that this day would even be here, It's just crazy.
It is, but it's awesome, man. You're
Yeah.
super successful now. You're definitely you're killing it out there, yo. So you're welcome. So
Thanks.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna turn the floor over to you and go ahead and share and take it away.
So I guess I should start off. I think I did this last time too, with like a little bit of my background and how I grew up and where I came from, just so everybody who doesn't really know my story can just get a little bit of a feel for like who I am. So I grew up in Newport Richey. My parents, I never really had a crazy childhood. My parents are still married. I had an older brother, a younger sister. Um, I guess we didn't really have a lot of money growing up, but I didn't realize it. But looking back now, I'm like, oh yeah, man, we really didn't have a lot of money. But my parents did the best that they could, and I never felt any like pain or anything from, you know what I'm trying to say. Um, but I grew up in a good neighborhood. Was really a good kid up until I got into high school and was introduced to like a whole new world of just older kids and partying and doing bad things, I guess. Um, I can't say that I really lived like a completely sheltered life, but I was always into sports and athletics, and I did track, I did weightlifting, and then I got a boyfriend, and then we started partying, and I started lying, and I got a feel for the bad side of life, and then one thing led to another, and then by my senior year. Um, the way I actually started doing pills and becoming addicted was from a friend, not because I wanted to, really try drugs, but I remember this day we were on our way to Busch Gardens, and my friend, who was a dancer, got into a car accident, and she got prescribed like all these crazy amount of painkillers and Xanax and just anything, you name it. And then one day she, pulled it out and was like, "Hey, you want to do this with me?" And I was like, "Oh, like it came from a doctor. I think that's probably okay." It's not like it's something that I learned about in school that was like, "No, don't do this." So then we just hung out every day, and then we started doing pills and splitting drugs together. And I never saw anything bad happening with it. I didn't realize that, doing something every day like that was going to cause an addiction. I wasn't spending any money on it. I just wasn't even thinking until one day I woke up and I was telling my friend, I was like, "Yeah, I don't really feel good." And, my body was hurting, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to come over and I'm going to fix it." And I was like, "What are you going to do?" So then she came over and she fixed it. And you would think at that point in time, I would be like, okay, this is probably time for me to like step back before I ruin my life. Um, but again, you don't think clearly when you're on drugs and your body's already dependent on pills and everything. So, hanging out with this person, and I don't blame anything on her at all, because she was just as bamboozled as I was, because she was never warned about this stuff, which she's doing great right now. She's sober and has kids, and she's doing wonderful. Um, so yeah, me and her just rode around and living the good life. And then that started the selling of the drugs. And, then we split ways, and I don't remember where she went, but that's kind of what got me into wanting to sell my prescriptions, get a prescription for one. And that way I could make money while I'm supporting my habit and just kind of going through this whole cycle. Back then I would say my role models were probably, people, big time drug dealers and movies, and, these rap artists talking about how much money they had. Like all that stuff was like so cool to me. And looking back now, I'm like, like, it's just crazy to think that that's what I thought was cool at one point in time, So I guess fast forward to some point where I'm taking all these people to all these like so-called friends that I had to doctor's appointments and, buying their prescriptions, selling them. And at this point I have so many drugs on me at all times. I don't even know how many I'm doing. I'd say at probably my worst point, I was probably doing at least 30 milligram oxycodones and probably at least 2 Xanax bars a day. And I don't even know how I was even alive doing all of that. That's just, I would just wake up and that's all I needed, to get started. Like today I drink a cup of coffee, back then I would wake up and that's the first thing that I would do. As soon as my feet hit the floor, I would be like, okay, where are my pills at? I was constantly paranoid. I was constantly worried somebody was going to rob me. I was holding on to my purse all the time. But I also had this complex that nothing bad was ever going to happen to me. So it's really bizarre. I had this like, oh yeah, no, nothing's ever going to happen to me. I'm never going to get arrested. I'm never going to overdose, never going to die, even though I watched so many people that I know overdose or get killed over something stupid. I watched people going in and out of jail, and I just didn't think that it was a big deal. Like something like that today is, to me, I think is like such a huge deal. But back then, I'm like, okay, you get arrested, you come out the next day, no big deal, and you just keep going on with your life because that was just a lifestyle that we were living in. We would hang out at houses that were just disgusting. I just remember looking back, not even wanting to take my shoes off or go use a bathroom at, someone's house, and I'd be home I would never want to go in today. I'd be scared to walk in a place like that. But, again, in the mentality that, where we were at, I think I can speak for most people that were in that state of mind. You don't care. You don't see it clearly. You kind of live in this like fog. I always like to say that like during that time, I basically was on pause. I didn't really progress in life. I didn't really learn anything new. I didn't learn from any mistake that I made because I constantly kept making them. Like it didn't matter if I got robbed, if somebody did something bad to me, if it was my friend who stole money from me or stole drugs from me, I would be really upset about it. But then I'd turn back around and be like, okay, well, how do I make this money back? Or how do I get my next fix? So that's just kind of the cycle that I just kept going through and going through and going through. I didn't really have a relationship with my sister. I was doing most of this out of my parents' house, and I lied to them all the time, even though they knew there was no way to hide it. I thought I hid it very well, but I didn't. But they didn't want anything bad to happen to me, so they didn't kick me out. They were scared I was going to die. So I remember at one point in time, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I know that that's like maybe an overused saying, but it's very true. I was to the point where I'm like, I'm done with this. But at the same time, I didn't want to be done because the sickness and withdrawals were just so terrible. And I also was too proud to ask for help and tell anybody that I actually had a problem. I don't know what I was proud of, but I just didn't want to admit to anybody that, I needed help because I thought it was like weak or, I was just so embarrassed and ashamed. So I was trying to do things on my own, which was one of the bigger mistakes that I could say that, I made and, anybody else could make because, you're never, it's not bad to ask for help. Like it doesn't make you weak to say, hey, I need help with this, or I have a problem, So, that's something that I don't necessarily say I wish I would have done because I think everything happened the way it did for a reason. But, maybe I could have come out of it a little bit sooner if I did that. But, I actually ended up getting a job. I somehow cut back on doing my drugs, but I still wasn't like totally done with getting high because I wanted to be a weekend partier. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but it doesn't work out. So at at that point, I had got a job. I think I was working at a normal like 9 to 5 for 2 weeks, and this is leading up to my arrest. I got a phone call from my dad, and he was like, "Hey, some narcotics detectives came by the house, and they said that you witnessed something, and they need to talk to you." So I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And so obviously I have to call them. I called them, let them know that I was going to be home at some certain point, got home from work. They pulled up to the house in like an unmarked car, and I answered the door, and they were placing me under arrest because I had sold to an undercover cop twice. So they were arresting me with trafficking, um, sales, and possession. I think I had 2 counts of sales. I can't remember. But so they arrested me. And I remember this, which I don't remember a whole lot all the time. Um, but they arrested me. My mom was pulling up to the house, and I was in handcuffs with my hands behind my back. And I had one tear coming down my face because I didn't have a lot of feelings back then. I was still numb to the world. And my mom saw me being arrested and being walked to the car. And she just came up and she just wanted to like take me. And she was like, "No, like, don't take her." And then I was like, "Mom, you're embarrassing me." And I guess trying to act tough or something. So, I waltz on over to the car. We take our ride to the jail, and I'm just talking to the cops. I wasn't mad at them. And I kind of didn't really think it was a big deal because, like I said, I've had friends and I see people go into jail all the time and then they come right back out. So I'm like, oh, this is not a big deal. Like, they don't have anything on me. And, but they did. Yeah, I sold to an undercover cop 2 times. So, I didn't realize that I was facing a minimum mandatory of, I think it was like 3 to 5 years in prison, like if I didn't get that trafficking charge reduced. So that really took some time for that to really like hit home. And I think it took a couple months in jail for me to really realize that. Because I called my mom and I was asking her if I was going to be able to come home and go back to work because I was trying to live like a normal life, I guess. And she's like, "Kayla, I don't think you understand, the seriousness of what's happening." She's like, "It's going to cost $75,000 to get you out of jail, and we're going to have to put our house up, and or we can get you an attorney, and you're going to have to sit in there." So I'm like, okay, I kind of let that sink in because that's big. And here I am thinking like, okay, well, if I come back out, you put your house up, you guys can lose your house because I know I'm going to mess this up. And I didn't admit that at the time, but in my head, like, I just knew that was huge. And I think my parents knew what the right choice was there also. So time in jail, that was crazy. I was really scared when I first got in there. I had to go through my withdrawals in jail, in the medical center or in their medical ward, which that was crazy in itself because there's a lot of, mentally ill patients in there. So it was, scary just hearing people like screaming at night and everything. And, I just had no idea what the heck was going on. And then I met with my attorney and he's like, "You need to sit in here until we figure out, what we can do and what's going on." So for about 4.5 months, I had no idea if I was going to prison. I had no idea if I was going to be getting out. I just had no idea what was going on. So I was just trying to make the best of everything. And then finally, about 2 weeks before I actually got out of jail, that's when I found out that I was going to be going home. He was able to get my trafficking charge reduced, like, thank God. And but I had to plead guilty to sales and possession. And I had to accept an 18-month felony drug offender probation program, a 6-month outpatient rehab program. They suspended my license for 2 years, and then I had a 10 o'clock curfew. Like I had all these restrictions, and like I think I was 22 at the time, 22, I think it was. Yeah. So I said yes to all of it, but then when I actually got out and had to accept it and deal with all of that, I was angry. I was like, why do I have to do all this stuff? I already served my time. I was in jail for 5 months. I'm clean. I'm sober. I don't need to go to this stupid program. What do I need this for? But I did though. So I just kept going through it. I guess faked it until I actually started making it and it started to make sense. I did the best that I could, and my parents helped me out. I think I was really, really lucky with that, because I know a lot of people don't have that support. Um, Another thing, getting out of jail, life still goes on, um, even though you're not out in the world living it. Like people don't remember and care, especially when you're living in that life that you're living, because I didn't really have any real friends at that time. And I think I knew that in a way, because when I was out there doing my thing, when I had either money or drugs or both or whatever, people just hang out to not be alone. And you know now it's completely different. I have all of that. So I would say that my program definitely really helped. I went to NA meetings and I actually really enjoyed them. I kept going even when I didn't have to for my program, because it was nice to be social and be around people that are kind of going through the same thing or have been through it. So that was really helpful. And then once I got a real job and became a productive member of society and started actually earning a paycheck and being around other adults and just people who have real life responsibilities, I think that was a big game changer for me too. And then getting back involved in the gym, that was a huge thing. I met like all of my best friends that I talk to every single day. They all go there, and we all enjoy this exercise thing and being healthy, and everybody I know knows what I've done and what I've been through, and they're all so super supportive of it. And it's not like an everyday topic that we talk about or anything, but it's nice to be around people who don't judge you. And I never have to worry about that. And having a relationship with my family and being able to walk in somebody's house and not have to worry about if somebody's going to steal from me, or if we're going to get robbed, or the cops are going to kick the door in, or anything. I don't have to worry about anything. So it's just really nice to just be alive, and not have to wake up in the morning and where, oh my gosh, I only have one pill left, or I don't have any pills, or what am I going to do today? How am I going to make money to get to what I need to get to, so I'm not dying and sick? And it's a lot less stressful, to say the least. I have other normal stresses like any other human being who works and has bills to pay. And I'm engaged now, and I don't know when we're getting married, so don't ask. Still have to plan it. But it just, have a really good career. I think meeting my fiance was a big game changer in my life too. He really pushed me to go into real estate because he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And he was like, you need to do real estate. You need to do real estate. And I was like, no, I don't know. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I think it would be kind of fun and actually really enjoy it. I love it. You know, I love helping people. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. I love talking a lot sometimes, too much sometimes. But I just find joy now in just being able to stick up for people and, just, doing my best to help anybody and really everybody, I feel like. So life's pretty good. And, I never would have had this if I never would have gotten arrested. And that really saved my life. And, you don't even know this. I got to tell you. So, um, so I got set up obviously by somebody, and I figured out who it was. Now I hadn't talked to this person since before I got arrested. Now, I'm not mad at them at all. So I can't remember if I friend requested them or if they friend requested me on Facebook. But a couple weeks ago, he sent me this message and he was like, I'm so sorry. I have been living with all this guilt for, you've never been anything but nice to me. And I said, hey, look, I'm like, I'm not mad at you at all. I'm like, you like literally saved my life in a weird way. I'm like, don't feel any more guilt. Like, I'm so sorry that you've been living with so much guilt for such a long time. He said he's doing well and he wanted to explain himself. And I said, if that's what you need to do, then you can explain yourself. But I'm like, I'm just telling you right now that I hold zero grudges against you. And I haven't been mad at you. I think maybe ever, like maybe when I first got arrested, but and I'm like, I am doing well and I hope you are too. So that was actually kind of cool, and for him to reach out and, you know, and say that, even though I didn't need that, but I think that he did. So yeah, that was really nice.
Well, that's a cool story. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you never told me that. That's
Well,
that's
it
pretty
happened like
cool.
2 weeks ago, and I was going to tell you about it, but then when we talked about this, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell him and surprise him."
That's super cool. Yeah, and like he needed it, you didn't need it.
Yeah,
He needed
yeah.
it. So,
Mhm,
Kayla, like I remember when I asked you to come on because I think it's cool. A lot of people think that they're stuck in their past, right? And
mhm,
you got felonies, you're a realtor. You have to be licensed to be a realtor in the state of
mhm.
Florida. What kind of like hurdles did you have to go through in order to get through that process?
So yeah, that's definitely a good question because like when I first like got out of jail and everything, I had zero confidence, and I was like, when I was looking for a job, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm on probation, I have all these felonies, just freaking out. I had zero confidence, and I think that was my big issue. So you have to be confident about it and know who you are, because I'm not the person I was 10 years ago. Like if you met that person, you'd be like, who the frick is that? So I didn't really have many hurdles, honestly, getting my real estate license. Um, since I had gone through everything and it's been such a long time, and I just had to get certified paperwork and sent it into them, and for like all of my probation and everything, and they accepted it and approved it right away. Um, I think it also helps that when I did all my programs and my probation and everything, luckily I didn't um, violate, or I really just wanted to be one and done. I was like, I don't want to go back to jail. So I think that helped. And the probation officer said really nice things about me. He called me a model citizen, and I was like, oh, okay.
Me? Who, me?
Yeah, which I ugly cried in court when they early termed me. I was like mascara everywhere.
Ugly crying.
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. I didn't even care because I was just so happy. But no, I personally haven't experienced any hurdles. I'd say maybe when I first got out, because I was lacking so much confidence in myself, I didn't really know how to present myself and be like, I was still dealing with the past and everything. So, but you really just need somebody to take a chance on you. And I think that that's also what, we were talking earlier about the gym thing that they're doing, like a celebration for me in March for my 10 year. I think that, the owner, Maria, she's one of my best friends. And I think she took a chance on me because I wanted to start training there. I started as a member, but then I was like really like into it, and I loved it, and I loved helping people, and I really wanted to get back to my roots of fitness. And she took a chance on me and really vouched for me. And I think that when you surround yourself with good, wholehearted, genuine, successful people, that rubs off on you. And just like Mike, my fiance, he saw something in me that sometimes you don't see in yourself, and they kind of just give you that little like nudge. And I'm sure Tiffany is that for you too, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Even when it sounds crazy.
So, I mean, I think that, again, it's just who you surround yourself with. And, they always say in recovery, like people, places, and things. So, you can't keep going back to the same things that you were doing before, and you were in this dark place or unsuccessful place, and then expect a different outcome. And, I think that that's, a huge thing for sure.
Definitely. And I think it's really cool, your story, because like we get a lot of people on here that still go to meetings,
Mm-hmm.
like all the time. And you kind of took what you learned young too, man. I think 22, that's pretty cool. That's really cool that I see that you had your problem, you did what you need to do, you got through these court systems. And I don't know if you did like drug court, or maybe it was just outpatient. What'd you do, sober solutions?
Yeah, I think it was Sober Solutions, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's more of an outpatient thing. And dude, those things are like awesome because it gives you that stepping stone. Some people run with
Mhm.
it. Some people need a little bit more bumping over the head, onto the
Yeah.
walls, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that's super cool. And it's also cool that like you surround yourself with these positive people that believed in you, and that's what it's all about. It's getting a good support system, getting a network of people that believe
Mhm.
in you, that are there for you, that are genuine,
Mhm.
and that's what furthers our recovery process. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be in the fellowships, it could be outside and with
Mhm.
just people in general. I have a
Yeah.
good support system outside as well, inside, outside, that I can talk to at any given time of the day. A lot of them, are in the group that we were in. I could talk to most of them that
Yeah.
that generally have my best interests at heart.
Right.
Like if I called you, like, hey, I got an issue, or Tiffany did, you would have our best interests at heart, and that's
For
what's
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah, and the gym definitely, you know, I,
Yeah.
the gym is such a healthy habit. We
It
have
is.
all these bad habits that we come in with, trying to get clean, and we're trying to do a
Mhm.
change of who we are, and we have to fill them with positive, healthy habits. And that's one thing. The gym is a really good thing. Now, you can take that and turn it into another addiction if you really have it.
Which I think I was there at one point for sure.
We've all been there. We've
Yeah,
all been there.
I was there, and which, I'm not mad at it, but I just think that, especially in the beginning of my recovery, I was just, I filled my schedule up with so many things. Like I was so tired, I couldn't even think about using. I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't have any activities. I don't have meetings. I don't have work. So I'm sleeping. So, but yeah, the gym's great. Um, I wish I can get there a little bit more than I am lately, but I'm working on it because, the whole balance of life thing. Um,
Tricky motherfucker.
the balance is tricky.
Oh, it is so tricky. Trying
Yeah.
to balance everything, especially when you're working on being successful, and that, and family, and gym, and eating right and drinking water. Like drinking water is probably one of those things I struggle with. I'm
So
doing a
much.
lot better, by the
Yeah.
way. I'm doing a lot better. Ooh. It's the disappearing cup.
Yeah. It's a lot. And, and it's never the same because we all go through different seasons and phases in life. And, especially when you have kids, like your schedule is going to change so much. So, it's going back to your support system and everything to make sure that you stay balanced or you shift your balance, if that makes sense.
Definitely makes sense.
Because from 2 years ago, my life is totally different. From 3 years ago, my life is totally different. 3 years ago, I was single and, I didn't have, I wasn't in real estate. I was waitressing and I was at the gym and, I was just living my life for me and everything was great. But, now I have a family. Well, I have a dog and I have Mike and she's
That's a family right there.
yeah, yeah.
You
So,
know?
but we're just kind of like paving our own way, and we both are kind of fresh into our businesses, and he's also a real estate agent, and he started a fishing charter. So, we're both always like bouncing ideas and stuff off of each other, and thinking about ways we can do this better, ways we could do that better. So, I think that I like to think at least that a lot of people like with a past or, in recovery tend to just always have your wheels spinning and thinking, about what the next thing that is that they can do to be successful, and
It's the chase sometimes.
yeah.
We like chasing things. Sometimes we chase our tail, but most of the time, we like to try new things. Like I've done a lot of things now that I've gotten recovery, and sometimes, me and Tiffany were just having a conversation about this. Is that sometimes, we feel like we start things and never finish them because like we're always evolving, trying things new. But it's never really that. It's just finding where you fit in, where exactly your success comes from. And it's always evolving every year, no matter what, like where I was, 3 years ago when I first started this journey, because I'm coming up on 4 years.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, thank you. And it is great.
It is great.
Yes. But it's always evolving. Like I was gun ho in business and then that didn't work. And then we had, the wheels blown out of our tires when we were, last year, and so like we had to readjust and reevaluate and like it was a good thing. And I learned how to do Venetian plaster through this whole thing. And like, that's something that was really cool. But all these cool experiences, like we feel like we do things and go gun ho into it, but it's just stepping stones to get where we want to be,
For sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to read a couple of comments. We got Lisa. I don't know if you know her.
I do.
Okay. I'm so proud of you, Kayla. You are such an inspiration and reminder that it's never too late. I'm so glad you took advantage of your second chance. Me too.
Yeah, no, that is very true. It is never too late to start over. Not even if you're 30, 40, 50, never too late.
Never. And Terry, I think you commented earlier that you vacationed down here in Newport Richey. When you come down here, you let me know because that's where we are. Well, I'm up a little north of that, but you let me know when you come down here. That'd be cool. Such a real accomplishment to understand that this situation resulted in your successful journey. Let's see. We got Chrissy. Do you know her?
Yes.
Okay. I am following you completely, Kay. Almost feels like you are telling my story. So nice to see someone with such a similar story with years under her belt. Gives me hope that I too can make it. Thank you for helping me to hold on, even if just for one more day, one day at a time, we do recover. Awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. One day at a time, and all those days add up,
Yeah.
10 years.
You can't get to Tuesday before hitting Monday. So if you're on Sunday, look at Monday.
Some people want to skip Monday,
They do. Yeah,
legit.
they do. Mondays are great though.
Christina says, thank you for sharing your story. Sherry says, thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope. Let's see. We got Misty says, good evening from the hospital. I've been admitted with COVID and upper respiratory infection, but would not miss you guys. Please pray for me. Love you all. We would definitely pray for you, Misty. Please get well. Keep us updated on how you're doing throughout this, and definitely get well.
Yeah, we hope you feel better.
Yeah, this COVID's going around like crazy. Everybody I talk to is COVID. Let's see. We got Sherry says, amazing success story, Kayla.
Thanks, Sherry.
Terry says the hope shot is amazing. I love your shares and your guests sharing their stories of hope. Thank you for always supporting, always being here. And we got Cesar. What's up,
Hi,
Cesar?
Caesar.
And then he says, amazing badass warrior. He talks about you. He's like, man, she is a firecracker. And then
He could barely make out a sentence the other day. He was heaving so hard he couldn't breathe. He couldn't catch his breath. He's like, total body. I'm like, you got this.
doing good. Maria, I will never forget your mom saying thank you for pushing you in the right direction. And I remember saying thank you for this beautiful woman with such a bright future. I never took a chance on you. I knew. That's awesome. Aw.
Goosebumps.
Those goosebumps are awesome. Lindsay says proud of you, sending love. And then we have Helen says, thank you for your story. So that's about it for tonight. Thank you again, Kayla, for coming on here and sharing your story.
Anytime.
Anybody that comes on here, they take time out of their day to come here and spread that hope and spread the inspiration. So we're always appreciative and thankful for anybody that comes on here and shares their story with us.
That's important.
It's very important, and congratulations on 10 years. I can't wait for the event. Maybe I'll do a little live from there. Maybe we'll do a little live.
You should do the workout.
Whoa. Slow down. I'm just concentrating on. No, I'm just kidding. I probably will. Listen, I started working out last week, and
cool, good.
I'm starting to get back in. Yeah, because you know what? Physical and mental go hand in hand. And like I know, like when I'm feeling like shit, everybody's going to know about it. You know what I mean?
It like bleeds off into everything. And then Tiffany's mad at you, and then the kids are screaming. Yeah,
And nobody likes a douchebag Justin. You know what I mean?
No.
We didn't get clean to keep being douchebags, No,
definitely not. That's a nice word to call us for sure.
Yeah, well, as Marcius calls it, douche canoes.
Yes, douche canoes. Yeah. I don't like that.
Me too. Yeah, so I'll probably do.
It's a partner workout, I think, from what Maria told me. She told me a little bit about it. So
now I'm looking at Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany.
This partner workout.
It's supposed to be fun, and we'll worry about it later. We're just going to focus on today and tomorrow, and
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna keep working out, and then maybe by then, dude, I'll be like, yeah, let's do this. I could do this. And then y'all gonna kill me, and then I'm gonna be like, why'd I do this?
And then you can go eat a cheeseburger afterward and not feel bad about it.
I like cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers are good.
Now you just called me out and fried me with a cheeseburger.
I'm just sweetening the deal for you.
I love cheeseburgers, so
yeah,
that's my problem. Yeah, we'll definitely do that, and then I'll probably go live from there, man, and check it out. Put it on the Facebook, and then let people see and check it out. So,
awesome.
Thanks again, Kayla, for being here, guys. Please share this video if you're still here. If you're still listening, please share this live video if you haven't already. It just takes a second to hit that share. You never know whose this story might help tonight. You never know. So thank you guys again for being here. We love you guys. And this Sunday is our topics. We go live this Sunday, and we're going to be sharing our experience, strength, and hope on whatever comes up for that day. It's not a planned thing. It's just whatever comes up. And, man, I hope to see you guys there this Sunday, 8:00. And we'll see you guys there. Love y'all.
Bye.
See ya.